Nancy Pelosi's
You haven't answered my question. So if you have...
You cannot demand more responsibility.
Yesterday you supported Jordan. Today you're supporting Donald.
That's not the way this works. We need a check and a balance on the third in line.
Who is your fight? Let's have a final answer. Who do you want to be Speaker of the House?
Maybe that's for the conference to decide. We need to come together.
Who do you want? I'm asking who you want.
What does it look like, life after Kevin?
Yeah. Just let them fight. So that was a representative sample of any 25 seconds from Lauren Boebert's interview with Sean Hannity last night. She's used to going on Fox News and, there's no tough questions or anything. Not so in this case. She is trying as hard as she can to just repeat the talking points that she's come up. Every one of those lines I've heard her say a bunch of times in the last week, and he is not having it. I want to give you more of the back and forth because this is not like a brief time where he's disagreeing with her. That was the tenor of the full interview. Take a look at this.
We need to find somebody who can actually unify the Republican Party. I have offered plenty of names. Let some other folks start offering other alternatives.
There are 203 people and you have 20. I respect the 20 of you. I respect all of you. But I'm asking you, based on your own words,
you as well.
Who is your final? Let's have a final answer. Who do you want? Who will you only support to be Speaker? That's not that hard.
I'm willing to have conversations with the Republican conference to come up with a consensus candidate.
Yeah, she keeps saying that over and over again. She doesn't want to say an actual name. If you go back to that video, she makes a face when he cuts her off that she did not like that. And then her little, thanks, Sean, I respect you too. Maybe that was an honest attempt at diplomacy at that point. But I want to play one more video because, look, I don't like Sean Hannity. I think he's terrible on TV. He's a terrible guy in general, terrible for America. But he is at least asking specific follow-up questions to try to get a representative to answer a straight question, which is just, who do you want to be your candidate? Here's his 10th try at getting that answer.
The American people are certainly frustrated by.
I'm frustrated by you not answering a direct question. You said to President Trump, you said earlier today that President Trump needs to tell Kevin McCarthy, you don't have the votes.
We need to come up with a consensus candidate to elect a Speaker of the House.
You don't have the votes and it's time to withdraw. He has 203, your side has 20. Why is it time for him to withdraw and not you when he has so many more votes?
Well, Sean, he needs 218, and he does not have 218. We've been trying to work this out in private, as you said, for months. But Kevin McCarthy didn't even want to listen to us until his disappointing midterms. We all want a...
So again, you can see the visible frustration. She opened her mouth to jump in a couple of times. He's asking, I think, fairly fair questions there. She keeps saying he doesn't have the 218, but she doesn't. She has a tiny fraction of the 218. She will not address that. She just keeps saying 218. And honestly, as combative as they were there, and as much as I think she did a poor job of defending her side there, that came out, that interview is before all of the concessions. Now that he's made all those concessions she asked for, they really do look completely, they got so much out of this, Farron. So much additional power and specific crazy bills they're gonna vote on to still be against him at this point and pretend that it's principled rather than just, I don't want him as leader, which they don't wanna say that, but you could say that. That's legitimate. You could say this is not actually primarily about a bill. I don't think he should be our leader, but they won't say that, but that clearly is what it is. What do you make of that little fight?
First of all, hilarious, and I loved every second of it, because it is funny to watch Hannity sit there over and over and say, what do you want? It's like when you're dealing with a 2-year-old that's crying and having a tantrum, and you don't know, but you gotta fix the situation, so you're just begging them, just tell me, point to what you want, and we will make it happen. For the love of God, just do it. And she can't even do it. She's like, well, I think, there's a person maybe somewhere that if we all agreed on it, we could do this. They have 10 times more people than you do, Lauren. I think you have your consensus candidate there. There's not even dozens of you. There's a dozen plus 8. That's what you have. You are losing in the numbers game here. But again, they've dug in. They've gotten all the concessions. And again, just to compare it to kids, it's like a parent saying, all right, listen, I'm gonna give you your snack, but after snack, you have to do your homework. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, we'll totally do the homework. But then they don't do the homework and you say, all right, well, I'll give you one more snack. But then you're really gonna do that homework, and they still don't do it because we're dealing with people that are acting like children. And no offense to any kids watching this who say, I'm not like a Republican at all. No, you're not. You're far more mature. But that is the level that we're dealing with because these are truly people who I think genuinely don't know what they want or why they're opposed to this. They've been led to believe they are by Matt Gaetz, who's done a good job of blocking McCarthy, but eventually more conservative people are gonna have to ask the question Sean Hannity did, which is, what do you want when all of this is over?
Yeah, and just my final point here, this is probably clear to people who've been watching the show so far, but like, I feel about them very similar to how I feel about Kyrsten Sinema in that I despise them. No, but like, I don't actually think they're fundamentally wrong. I don't think they're obligated to support Kevin McCarthy or anyone. The reason I think they're wrong is that I think that they're lying about why they're doing what they're doing. Kyrsten Sinema is not obligated to vote for a bill. I just hate that she's lying about why she's opposed to it. Just come out and say, I don't like this bill because it might marginally raise tax on corporations, or there might be a little bit more regulation on corporations, and I will never allow any of that to happen. I'm not here for you, I'm not here for the party or my constituents, I'm here for the corporations and the 1%. If she were to do that, I would still fundamentally hate her, but at least she'd be being honest. Lauren Boebert's not required to vote for Kevin McCarthy, but when she says, I will vote for him if he does these 5 things, and then he does those 5 things and you don't vote for him, well then you lose whatever principle you were supposedly standing on. So we'll see, maybe in the 8th vote, but it's not looking good at this point.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.